What's up, people? How are you doing? My name is Dani and welcome to the renovation of the Spencer Kim Lewis house. I was very excited about renovating this house because, well, it's a weird one. I see where EA was trying to go with this one. They most likely wanted something super cool and modern, maybe even futuristic, but as usual, they failed. Miserably. Sometimes I can help but wonder if these houses were built by real people. Seriously. This house is the type of mess I would expect from AI, not real people. Because I'm sorry, but I need to get this out of my chest. Have you ever taken the time to go and search for the toilet paper on the houses EA built for the base game? Have you ever noticed that? I know that the toilet paper is not a functional object, it's just there as decoration, but I don't see how placing that object insanely high on the wall or 2 steps away from the toilet would be a good idea. This probably sounds like a silly thing to pick up on, since I know there are houses in expansion packs where the bathrooms don't have toilets to begin with, but it still makes me very annoyed. I'm a perfectionist, remember? Anyway, I'm sorry, let's just focus on the Spencer Kim Lewis house for now. So the house is big, insanely big. The stairs are, again, 3 tiles wide, and that is just ridiculous. I mean, I probably shouldn't criticize them too much because my stairs ended up being 4 tiles wide in total. But my stairs are not straight, mind you. My stairs are 2 tiles wide, but then I decided to fold them into a tight U shape. So yeah, they turned 4 tiles wide in total. They look great though, no regrets on that. But as I was saying, this house was too big. In terms of empty, wasted space, it's probably the second worst in the base game. The first one is obviously the land grabs house, and oh boy, am I excited about fixing that one too. But so, obviously, my first priority was making the house smaller. Let me tell you, that was a real struggle. Usually, I make the houses smaller by pushing back the outer walls by 1 or 2 tiles, or I divide the big rooms into smaller ones. The overall size of the house stays the same in that case, obviously, but the house seems smaller because there's less empty space. With this house, however, I had to use both methods because one was not enough. Now that I think about it, out of all the houses I have renovated so far, this one was the one I changed the most. I've said this before, but I don't like to make extreme renovations or makeovers. It's important to me that people still recognize the house as soon as they look at my renovated version. So I try to keep the changes to a minimum. This time, however, I gotta be honest with you, I almost gave in to the urge to bulldoze the whole thing and start from scratch. You have no idea how much time I spent moving those walls back and forward, trying to come up with a floor plan that made sense and had reasonable sized rooms. I probably spent 2 or 3 hours just on that. You won't have to see me struggle through that, don't worry, I cut it all out of the video, but I still wanted you to know. I need to vent, okay? I stayed up very late at night yesterday trying to finish this monstrosity. No, I'm sorry. You are not a monstrosity. Not anymore. Don't worry. I fixed you. You're perfect now. And I'm most likely hallucinating from the lack of sleep because I'm talking to a virtual house right now. Oh, I will take a nap after this, I promise. Anyway, yeah. I made a lot of changes to the house, but I think the most significant one was that I separated the bedroom on the first floor from the rest of the house and turned it into a secondary suite. I wanted to keep them attached at first, but in order to make it work, I would need to rearrange the whole backyard area, and I didn't want to do that. I quite like the backyard of this house. It's the only thing EA did right here, so I wanted to keep it. I still made a few changes though. I put down some more bushes and also had a pond there because there was not enough space for a pool. Another thing that I changed were the windows. Originally, this house had a lot of windows, big windows, and that was okay when the house was bigger, but now that it's smaller, it would be weird. Instead, I used a bunch of smaller windows to make some sort of custom windows. I've seen other people do this before, I've wanted to try it for a long time now, and this house was the perfect opportunity for that. I quite like it. I had a lot of fun doing that. It also helped me fill in the walls because the walls in this house are quite high. I mean, according to the game, they are just medium height, but they still feel pretty tall to me. Am I the only one thinking that? Anyway, there are still plenty of empty walls in this house. And not just walls, I left a whole counter in the dining room empty. I don't usually do that because, again, I don't like empty spaces, but I let go of that this time, thinking that you might want to fill it yourself with clutter objects from some packs or custom content. I know that I will be cluttering the walls with pictures and paintings made by The Sims. And I think I'll be using that counter in the dining room to place the food during parties. That makes sense, right? Moving on. The house still has the same number of bedrooms, but I reduced the number of sleeping spots by substituting one of the double beds for a single bed. And since Alice and Eric had a second child in this save file, I turned that room into a boy's bedroom. Like, in my head, the bedrooms go like this. Olivia's room is on the second floor, obviously. It's the only room in the original house that looks like a child's bedroom. Right next to her is Vivian's room. She's an old lady, it's hard to go up and down the stairs at her age, so I don't think she would want to sleep on the third floor. Alice and Eric are the ones sleeping on the third floor, and the same thing goes for their new child. And then Dennis lives in the secondary suite. You see, last time I checked, he was the only person in the house with a gardening skill, which led me to believe that he is the one sleeping in the bedroom in the back, with all the gardening tools and such. I'm not sure if that was EA's intent or not, but that's how I see it. What about you? Do you see it the same as me? Or do you have different ideas about who sleeps in each bedroom? If you try to renovate this house yourself, let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. Anyway, I'm running out of ideas here, so I guess I will end this voiceover here. Oh, just one more thing. I cut out a lot of this video because it was so long and some things are kinda repetitive. I cut out most of the bathrooms because they're all pretty much the same. And I also cut out most of the landscaping because you have seen me place enough bushes already. This house will be on my gallery, as always. Oh, I haven't play tested yet. I usually test them right after finishing the build, but it was so late when I was done, I was so tired that I decided to leave it for later, and now I'm recording the voiceover and forgot about it. I will do it right now, don't worry. If the house in the gallery looks different from the one in the video, that's most likely why. It's because I had to adjust something to make it functional. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, because I'll be back in a couple of days and you don't want to miss a thing. Trust me. See you then.